Okay guys, hi, we are live with you here. So I'm going to show you how to use diff. Why is it useful and when you might want to use it. Okay, so I've been showing you how to use this. Okay, so right now, as you can see, we are having two instance variables here, and I'm setting it to private so that you can only use it inside of this class but not outside. So that means you can come to the main method and use these variables or assign a value to it. Okay, this is a method. You should know this is a method. Okay, this is a void method. Its the return type is void. That means a method that doesn't return anything. Okay, so it's taking two parameters, which is a string taking a name and an age. Okay, so let's say for example now we want to set this instant variable name to be equals to assign it to the parameter name. Okay, so you are seeing now this is not working. It's just you are just setting this name to itself, so it's not going to work. Okay, so you are seeing it now. I'm thinking of a way that I can assign this variable instant variable name to this name parameter here, pass from the void. Okay, so how can you solve this problem? This is one way. You can just put 1 here, then you change this one to 1, so you are good to go. But this is not best practice. Okay, it's not best practice, except you really don't want to use the same name. So this is where this comes in. This is where this comes in. This is where this is useful. So what you will just do is just call it this word, this dot name. Okay, then equals to name. Sorry, equals to name. Okay, so this is how you can use these to access variables. Okay, as you can see now. So right now we are this is referring to this class object, which is jewel, and is this now, this and what I forgot the name of this operator. This operator name. Okay, so this is referring to the class is in. Okay, so this right now is in this class, so it's referring to this class, then it's getting this variable, then assigning this name to it. Okay, so this is where this is useful, when you want to use the same instant variable name to assign the same parameter name. Okay, so right now you can just do h equals to h. Okay, so right now if I should, let me just uncomment this. You should know this now. This is a comment, and this is a method. The return type is string, so I should just return name. Okay, so right now there are two ways you can do this. You could just call name like this, because this name will know that you are referring to this instant variable, because there is no any variable here called name, so it's going to work. Or you could do this dot name. Okay, so you are seeing how you can access instant variable access variables from the class this is in. Okay, so right now if we return, okay, let me just call the object here. Let me give it let me just give it j1, then equals to, let me use the capital, I think. Okay, just put j, then we use the new keyboard, then sorry, nice. So right now let's call this this method this set name. So let's set a name for the method. Okay, so j, then j, then get name. We set a name. Sorry. No way. No way. You're not leaving that house again. I'm serious. You're not staying there again. Don't come back. You begin to look for another apartment for you. What happened is not showing. The method is supposed to like give. Okay, let me just set something to it and see. 5. Still showing error. What is he complaining? What is that? You say argument too found, but I'm coming. Okay, I'm saying get name instead of set name. No wonder. It's get name, not set name. Set name is just going to return a type. Okay, so right now we're using get name. Now it's showing. That's what I was. So let's, and the name should be, just give it any name you choose. Let's say Joy. Then our age will be, let's say 17. Sorry, because it's an integer, so it's not a string. We put 17. So we have no error here. So we have set these two parameters, so we have given them values. Okay, so this is the actual parameter and this is the former parameter. Okay, so let me print Joe here. So I'll just do Joe. Let me print the set name, sorry, get name. Okay, so if we print it now, nice. So we set values for this get name, which is here. Okay, so we are using this instant variable to assign the name to this, so that this instant variable is going to hold the parameter passed to, that is name and age. Okay, you should understand this. Then right now we are returning this name, that means it's referring to this here. So we are returning the name, because since this instant variable is since this dot name is assigning this name to it, so the name is going to be the name will pass through from the parameter. You should understand this now. You should, since you know variables, you should understand this. Okay, so now we're returning the name. So this is how you can use this to access variables in the class. Okay, so right now let me show you another way we can use this to call a method. So right now I could just come like this, then I put this and dots. I could call this get name and put my full stop here. So right now I'm calling this method inside of this method. Okay, using the this. So this is referring to this class, then it's calling this method. Okay, as you can see, this is the way you can use this to call a method. So right now I don't need to call this method yet. I don't need it. Then all I just have to do here is just come here, use the shortcut and cut from here. As you can see, that's it. So when I print this, we're going to get the same result. So you see, we still got Joy. Okay, so you can use this to access variable. So you can use this to access variables called method. Okay, and you can still use it you can still use it to call constructors too. Okay, so let me just do that. Let you see how we could call this constructor inside of here. So you know how to call a constructor now. You just constructor. Let me just constructor. Let make it public. No, not private. Public. Okay. So the constructor name should be the same name with the class and with your parameters like this. Okay. So let me just change this to be here. Cut. I paste it here. Okay, so cut, I paste it here. Let me just comment this. Okay, I just deleted it. Okay, right now we don't need to. Now you know how to call a constructor now, then assign value to it. You are going to assign the value here. So that is the only way this is going to work. So if we do this like this, cut, so we'll get the same result. Okay, and you're seeing we are getting the same result. But what if we want to assign default values to it? Okay, so we don't want to assign the values here. Okay, so we don't want to assign the values here, so we could just leave it like this. Now let me show you how to call a constructor and set the values to it. Okay, so right now to call a constructor you just need another constructor. It's very simple, or you call it inside a method. So right now let's just call public, say Joel, and I do like this. Then I just need to say this dot. Okay, and now open parenthesis. Okay, sorry, I don't need this. Open parenthesis, then put my full stop here. So right now, once I set the values to it, so let me just set a string called let's give it another name this time, Amos. Amos and comma, then I think then we give it an age. Let's say Amos is 19. Okay, so right now we are calling this constructor inside a constructor. This is simple. So right now this will know which constructor you are calling based on the values you pass in the parentheses. Okay, so right now since we are passing a string and an integer, he knows to call this constructor string and integer. So you can call another constructor that will take in a string and integer. So we can still use another constructor that will take in a string and integer. So this know that there can be only one constructor which has a name and an integer, so that it's referring to this one, so it's going to call this constructor. So right now if I print this like this, I will get Amos. So that's it. I'll show you how to access variables with this, how to call constructors and method. Okay, so that's it. Just a quick note, I want to tell you guys something. So right now you can, when you're calling a constructor, it should be the first thing inside the constructor. Okay, so it should be the first thing you're calling inside the constructor. What am I saying? I'm saying that you can do this. Okay, let's call this method inside of here. You see this is going to show an error. Okay, you see, call this must be the first statement inside the constructor body. You see, So it's telling you that anytime you're calling your constructor using this, it should be the first statement inside the method. Okay, so it should be the first statement, and you can't use this in any static method. Any static method, why am I saying you can't use this in static method? So if I come here and I put static, this is going to show an error. So you can't use this in any static method. Okay, that's the two. Okay guys, I've been showing you guys how to use this. Okay, so as you can see here, you can see what's here. So the first thing I've been showing you in this, you can use this to override the parent class methods. What am I saying? I know it's confusing, but let me show you. Okay, so right now, as you can see, there are two classes here, Amos, Duet, and method. That's making 3, but I added one class, Amos. Okay, and there is nothing inside, but Amos is extending Duet. So what do this mean? So by the word extending, Amos is now becoming one with Joel. Okay, so but it's magic. You can't see what's going on, you can't see anything here, but I'll show you that everything that is in here is inside here. So by the word extend Joel, so right now, as Amos is extending Joel, Amos knows everything that Joel has. Okay, so now they are one. So how can I prove that? This is a method inside of Joel, and as you can see, there is nothing inside of Amos. Right here, this is the Amos object, but let me call this method inside of here. Where is it? Let me call this method info. Okay, so right now, as you can see, there is nothing inside Amos. So if I just do like this, a dot get info, and if I print, wow, as you can see, this is like magic. Whoa, you can't see anything here, but there is something inside here. It's just okay. Let me show you how to override method in the child class. So this is the parent class, and this is the child class, because Amos is extending Joel. So this is the child class. So right now, let's say we want to override this method. Okay, so if I copy this method like this, okay, you know now, since Joel and Amos is one, you can't have two methods now that are doing the same thing. You see, it's showing an error. Okay, so but if I take this method here, it doesn't show an error, but it's giving me this sign here, so that is telling me that it's overriding it. So by default, it's going to help you do that, but in good practice, you need to put this what do you call it, this override sign here. Okay, so in good practice you put this, but if you do not put this, it's going to work. Okay, so right now we are overriding this method that is inside here. Okay, because it's the first one. So I don't say Amos, and if I print this, it's going to change. So right now it's Amos, but how do we call this method here? Okay, how do we call this method? Okay, so that's where the super word super keyword comes in. Okay, so right now, if we want to call this method, we just need to come here, say super dot, and you see everything that is inside Joel class. You can see everything, all the objects inside. So here is the get info. Okay, so right now, if I print this, it's going to call this method and call this method, because we are calling this method inside here. Okay, so when I call this method, it's going to come here, call the method, but it's going to call this method first, which is here. So this super keyword is referring to the parent class, which is this one, and you are using the dot operator to get what is inside. It's simple. So let me print it out so that you see. Voila, that's it. Isn't that cool? So cool. Okay, so the second thing I'm going to show you how to use from the chat class, how to use variables from the parent class. Okay, so let me just assign this, let me just give these variables a name. Let's say Joe. Okay, then set the age to maybe 30. Okay, so right now we need to change it to public because we are going to use it outside the class, not inside the class. So it's supposed to be public. So right now, if I want to what do you call it? I want to get those variables. Okay, so I want to get these variables, the values. So you can still use the super keyword. Okay, so this is simple. Let me just use another this thing. Then I'm just going to put a string here. Okay, let me just, okay, let's say hi in the string. Then I'm going to assign the plus operator here. Okay, so right now I'm going to so right now, how can we use these variables that are inside here? Okay, I know that if you just maybe you just do like this, maybe you say name, is going to work, because remember Joel and Amos are one. Okay, so obviously it's going to work once you just say name. So you can access these variables here. But what if you're having a variable here called Amos? Okay, let's have it here. I call it Amos here. So instead of it to access this outside one, okay, it's going to access this one. Let me just change the name to Amos. Okay, so right now, if we should print this, it's going to print Amos, but not this one. Okay, so like I said, we are using the super keyword to access things in the parent class. So this is where the super keyword comes in. So I will just do like this. Let me just delete this. Then I'll use my plus sign. Then I'm just going to call name. As simple as this. So this is referring to this. You can't refer to this. Okay. So right now, how can we get to this? Let me just copy this and paste it here. Okay, so I'll just do super dot name. So that's it. So it knows I'm referring to this variable. So once I print this, as you are seeing, voila, you see what I'm getting. Joel Joe. So it's first of all calls this one here, this method, because we are calling it here. Then okay, then before he runs this code. Okay, so this is how to get variables in the super in the parent class. That's how we get variables in the parent class. Okay guys, in here I'll be showing you how to call constructors in the parent class using super. Okay, so right now I created these two constructors. This one is doing nothing and this one is taking two parameters. Okay, we're using the this keyword in it. So we are going to call this method. As you can see, I've already done that by using this keyword here. Okay, so right now let's assign values to it. Okay, let's assign values to it. It's very simple. Let me see. Let's create a constructor here. Let's set the constructor to public, then emos is just going to take in two values like it. Let me just copy from here. Sometimes I hate typing, so bear with me. Even though it's small. So from here, let me paste like this. Then I'm just going to delete this. Aha. So right now, how can we call this constructor here? It's very simple. It's very simple to call this constructor. Come, let me just check my battery percent. Okay, it's very simple to call this constructor in the chat class. Okay, so hope you guys are seeing this all. Okay, so here's where we start. To call this constructor in the chat class, very simple. Let's use the super keyword, super, then with your parentheses. Okay, and you type the values, okay, inside of it. So that means this super is taking a name and a integer, that is a string and an integer. Let's give it let's use from here. We are going to use these parameters here. Let's say name with your comma, then age. Okay, so right now the values will be passed through these parameters here, and it's going to enter here, then set it here, then we're going to call this method. Okay, as you can see, we've already called this method here. So right now let me set the initial values. So when I do like this, name, let's say emos, then with a comma, then let's say it's 70. Okay, so right now I'm calling this method. Okay, so this method is going to call this one, but first of all it's going to run this code. So let me print it so that you guys can see. You're seeing it right? You're seeing it right? So it's working. This is very simple. It's very simple. This is a constructor and this is a method that doesn't return anything. We are calling the method here using the super keyword. Okay, we are setting the values of this parameter using the super keyword. The value is being passed from here to here. Okay, so right here we are setting the values. This is the initial values, and we are calling this method here. So this is very simple, very simple. Hope you guys understood this. So it's very simple. It's very simple. Okay, so I've shown you guys how to override methods in the parent class, how to call constructors in the parent class. Okay, how to use variables in the parent class. So this is simple. So right now I hope you guys should try using different class. Okay, try it and see. So a quick note, if you are calling constructor, it should be the first thing, just like this keyword. Okay, so this and super work exactly the same, except super is referring to the parent class and this is referring to the class it's in, which is this. Okay, hope this is clear. Super is referring to the parent class, this is referring to the class it's in. Okay, so they work exactly the same. Thank you.